Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Hello, hello, hello. For it is coffee time. And the world is still crazy. The world is still mad. And I'm here to laugh at it. Alright, so we're heading over to the Daily Mail website. Why not? Why not? Darren, why did you do the Daily Mail website? Because it's free. Well, largely free. And all the news that I want to cover is all the stupid stuff is there. Okay, don't get upset. It's not a political statement. I criticise everybody because that's how it works. But yeah, we're doing a good old fashioned coffee time. For those who want to know what is happening out there, political news. We're going to start with political news. The Greens. Yeah, we have the Green Party over here. You probably maybe have a Green Party where you are. Well, the Greens have elected a new leader, Zach Polanski. I'm sure there's a joke there about never trusting a Polanski, but I don't know. But yeah, he's been elected leader of the Green Party. He got nearly 17,000 votes over his competitors. Yeah, he was voted in with 20,411 votes, beating the joint. They went. There was going to be a joint leader campaign from Adrian Ramsey and Ellie Chowns. They only got 3,705 votes. Yeah, so this is Mr. Polanski. I'm not sure if this is I don't know. Is this a good? This is a good picture of him, but they've elected a fella whose previous claim to fame. Not only has he been arrested as part of an Extinction Rebellion, but it goes back further than that. Back in 2013, I think it was. He was working out of Harley Street as a hypnotist. A hypnotist. Interesting. What kind of hypnosis was he offering? Well, again, this is how bonkers the world's gone. They've elected a man who has been dubbed the Boob Whisperer because, as a hypnotist, he offered his services to ladies who wanted to increase the size of their chest area using hypnosis. And he does look like the kind of guy who's whispered at quite a few boobs, doesn't he? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, good luck, Mr. Polanski. I think you're going to see the Green Party implode because every time he gets mentioned, they're going to say Boob Whisperer, like I've just done. Boob Whisperer. It's a great time to be alive because everything is mad. Everything is insane. We're living in strange times. He said, strange times. Meanwhile, Ryland Clark, for those of you on in the UK, Ryland Clark is a TV presenter, probably most noted for his very white teeth. I've just had coffee. But in Ryland Clark, he was on the telly the other day. Here he is. He was on a popular TV show called This Morning, which is like a magazine programme. And he was complaining about the current migrant situation. The ones that, come over here, some would say illegally. Let's face it, if you try to break into America and threw your passport away, you'd be deemed as an illegal. But some people say it's not illegal because they say it's the only way that you can get into the country if you're an asylum seeker. So I don't know, if you're paying criminals to do something criminal, that kind of makes you a criminal. Just saying, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, in the old days, asylum seekers used to come over on the plane, right, and then throw themselves at the authorities when they got here and said, look, my country is dangerous, can I seek asylum? That's what old asylum seekers used to be. Now you got to get on the dinghy. So anyway, Ryland wasn't too happy, and he expressed some opinions that aren't favourable to that lot over there. Or is it over there? Over there. Again, depends what side. Would it be that way? On your side? Is it that way? On your side of the screen? I don't know. Anyway, to the left. Those are to the left. So, but one of his co-presenters, Susanna Reid, who she does Good Morning Britain, has jumped to his defence. So there we go. Good people are trying to cancel Ryland Clark. Ryland Clark, who, who appeared in Doctor Who recently. That's how woke he is. Russell T Davies wrote and cast him in Doctor Who. So it must be, a hot topic if Ryland's getting involved. But yeah, the figures are in, and these are some of the. These are the stats for. They call them small boat migrants now, and it's quite it's one of those interactive maps. We've got Starmer, we've got Sunak and Johnson. Again, look, Johnson. Look, he's did well, but Starmer. There's only been 402 days in office, and there's been 50,000 small boat migrants, or dinghy Daves as I like to call them. Again, look, if you wanted to look, they pay thousands and thousands of pounds to get into the country, right? Wouldn't it be better if you just, I don't know, bought a fake passport and come over on the plane? It'd be a lot safer. And they give you free nuts, don't they? Well, probably don't give you free nuts now because of allergens. I used to like the little packets of nuts on the plane, but that's beside the point. Who doesn't like to have their mouth full of nuts? I'm not allowed to do jokes like that. That's some people find that upsetting, but there you go. So yeah, it's a big problem. It's a big problem, and the problem. This goes back again. This goes back to the Conservatives. All our politicians think in short-term solutions. So where do we put all these people? We put them into hotels. Again, when there wasn't that many coming in, not a problem. But as the figures have gone up, and it's taken a long time to process them, the overspill has happened and bad things happen because certain criminality has come. If you house lots of men in a single space, it doesn't matter if they're migrants, it could be any population of men housed together, testosterone and whatever else is going to kick off, isn't it? So, instead of actually having processing centres for these people, and we're doing this professionally, Boris Johnson and his government look very short-term. Now Starmer's in the same position because he's going to be out at the end of this. And in 2029, it's going to be, again, if reform gets in, that's going to be a whole different kind of bloodbath because they're going to be inexperienced. There's going to be massive cuts to everything. It's just going to be, awful. So, because there is no solution to this, you've got to think in long term. There isn't a government who's going to be in power long enough to solve the problem. And the Conservatives completely screwed the pooch because I imagine, and I'm just putting it out there, all this money that's being paid is probably paid to people that they know, they'll backhand it. You know what I'm saying? All these hoteliers are probably Conservative donors and stuff like that, I'd imagine. But I know one of them, one of the big ones is a Singaporean business. All that money going to Singapore. It's not staying in the country. So you just piss the money up the wall. Piss the money. Don't worry, the old folks and the disabled, they'll cover the cost. Remember, the government, whatever colour, is not your friend. You're here mainly to pay the bills. They do not care about you. You are just a means to an end for them. Okay, remember that. So there we go. So there's been a lot of stuff about. We know the migrants at the moment over the summer. Lots of flags gone up. We've got them around our way. I don't like it when they paint the like the roundabouts. It just looks messy. They never take a bit of string to get the line straight. It's always, and they've had a few lagers, and it's always a little bit wobbly, isn't it? A little bit, especially what they're doing on the zebra crossings. It's just ugly. Meanwhile, Rachel Reeves. There's a story here about Rachel Reeves. She's our Chancellor, and again, they've made a big deal about her being the first female Chancellor. And they're saying, is Reeves going to drive Britain off a financial cliff as borrowing costs grow? Well, again, we can't afford all the stuff. 9 million, isn't it? 9 million a day is spent on the 4-star hotels for these guys. Again, we've got to put them somewhere, but there must be a cheaper way of doing it. And yeah, they've got another interactive. Is it another interactive map? No, it isn't. They've just put Liz Truss's head, but the woman who crashed the economy. And this is the long-term borrowing costs. It's the highest level since 1998. So there you go, isn't it? It'll make you proud, doesn't it? Don't worry, we won't be able to afford anything soon. And the whole of Europe is in the same position. You know, France's economy is going to the wall. Germany's not doing so much better. You know the one economy that's doing well? Greece. Yeah, the Greek economy, because they had how many years of austerity to get their economy back on track. Yes, yes. Meanwhile, be careful what you post. Be careful what you say on the internet, for you could end up in trouble with the law. We've had it before. We had a woman go to prison for a tweet, which she subsequently deleted, but because it was reposted by other people, and she was targeted by Labour activists, end up in prison when she should have just been told off, really, you know. But we have more of this. But this time, it's famed comedy writer Graham Lineham. He was arrested yesterday by 5 armed police officers at Heathrow. No such thing as overkill when it comes to social media and what people post. Lineham is a comedy writer famous for Father Ted and the IT Crowd and Black Books, among other things, and again wrote for many sketch shows back in the day. The 57-year-old was arrested on suspicion of inciting violence. And here he is. You're probably wondering what he's doing. That's him in hospital, because the incident put his blood pressure up to 200 BPM, and that's not good. That's close to having a heart attack or having a stroke level. But yeah, he was travelling from Arizona to London because he's in court on the end of the week for an unrelated incident, and he was arrested. And what were these tweets? Oh, dare I mention them just in case they come and arrest me? Could happen. Could happen. You'll visit me in prison, won't you? Remember, it's a cake with a file and not a file with a cake in it. Remember that. Always get it the right way around, because it could be embarrassing. Again, a lot of people aren't going to get that joke because their brains are running slow. So do catch up. Lineham posted, if a trans-identified man is in female-only spaces, he's committing a violent, abusive act. Absolutely. He's been judged. Stay in your lane, men. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all fails, punch him in the balls. That's the advice that we give our daughters. This is not inciting violence. This is called self-defence. So therefore, the police must be saying, women, let men abuse you. Give in. Don't defend yourself. That's not the right way to be, is it? Remember, a man in a dress is still a man in a dress. Trans is not some magic thinking that makes you the thing you think you are, right? Otherwise, if somebody says that they're, Napoleon, we'd give him the little outfit, wouldn't we, and let him think he's the Emperor of France. We don't do that. The same way, if somebody dresses as the pilot and says he's a pilot, we don't let him fly the plane. But here we go. And this one is a photo you can smell. Again, it's these activists. Again, everyone's an ideologue these days, and you can smell them. You certainly can. And the third one is I hate them. Misogynists and homophobes, fuck them. And again, that's a sentiment we can all get behind, because again, the trans movement is very homophobic and very misogynistic, because they trans the gay away. Look it all up. If you believe in the medicalisation of children, you are deeply disturbed. When you're an adult, do what you like. Cut it off. Take whatever you want, get on with it, but leave the kids alone, right? And stay out of women's spaces and out of their sports and out of all their hard-earned political, places too, right? So just do one, men. Remember, the patriarchy adapted. It put on the dress. Remember that, because men are men and men are men, because that's what men do. So now they're going to come and take me away. But yeah, it's ridiculous. This is a massive overreach by the police. And again, in the old days, it's obviously a trans activist that's initiated this. In the old days, these people would have been arrested themselves for wasting police time. But here we are. Instead of, solving the various issues we have in our fair city, the Met Police could be, trying to deal with knife crime and, mobile phone robberies and stuff like that. They're doing this, and it just makes them look a joke. They should also be arresting these people for wasting police time. But again, Graham, you got it wrong, son. He's not going to be watching this. He blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why. I never had any interaction with him, but Graham, you did it wrong, mate. What you need to do, you need to grow a beard out, get a suntan, fly to France, come over on a dinghy. You'd be in a 4-star hotel having some grub by now. So, you know, I don't know, played that game wrong, didn't you, mate? But yeah, good luck to you, sir. I think the Free Speech Union are looking after his legal side of things, and it is ridiculous. Again, unless you're actually inciting violence, and again, it's all contextual. Context is key here. I think asking women to defend themselves in a hostile, sexually charged situation is not inciting violence. It's just stating the fucking obvious. And yeah, what a great time to be alive. We're in the wrong timeline. We need to jump off. Meanwhile, our mate Putin. He's our mate. We love Putin. Mr. Putin. It's because I don't want any polonium tea. But Putin today has accused Europe of spreading hysteria and horror stories after France and Germany both warned of a possible Russian attack. You've got a choice. It's either get arrested for a tweet or nuclear attack by Russia. Which one are you going to choose? Which one do you want? But yeah, speaking, he was in China. There's this big Chinese gathering going on. Putin claims that European leaders said that Russia would one day attack, going deeper into Europe. And those stories were hysteria and horror stories. But yeah, French hospitals were ordered to make preparations for an imminent war in Europe. What? And while Germany said it was on alert for Russia's military drills. Yeah, France's Ministry of Health told health bodies across the country to prepare for possible major engagement by March 2026. Jesus Christ. The French government is reportedly predicting a scenario where the nation will become a supporting state that has the capacity to take massive number of wounded soldiers from France and other European nations. Blimey. Why isn't this in the news? Oh, wait a minute, it is. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defence in Germany, Carsten Brauer, said NATO and his nation's forces will be on alert ahead of Russia's military drills. And Putin's going, it's all horror stories, man. I'm nice, Mr. Putin. I would never illegally invade a country on my life. Now, which Putin is that? Let's look at his earlobes. Is it the real Putin, or is it one of the fake Putins? I don't know. We can't get a good look there. But so there we go. I didn't know that was a thing. Right, what else is there? I haven't really looked at these. We've got any other good funny ones? Here we go. Going back onto the old asylum. A lot of asylum and migrant stories on Daily Man because you know, it appeals to a certain reader. But yeah, we're going to Nuneaton, and one asylum seeker. He's being interviewed by Sky News. This is Yusuf. Here he is. Apparently he's lived in the UK for 2 decades, but had his right to work stripped following a serious assault. Oh dear, that's not good. What did he do? But yeah, he said that he wants to go back to Somalia because it's safer than Nuneaton. Now again, that should be on the signs. As you enter Nuneaton, you're now entering Nuneaton. It's slightly more dangerous than Somalia, because yeah, there's lots of these chaps wandering around. Look at them. Oh boy, it's not a good look, is it? So yeah, Yusuf came to the UK for Somalia to claim asylum 2 decades ago, but his right to work stripped following a serious assault. And he's been begging the Home Office to deport him for the last 5 months. Well, can't he go down to Dover? And when they pull up, can he go? They must be doing return trips by now, shouldn't they? Shouldn't they be like return dinghies? You'd think they'd have like a return thing going on. He said, "This country's not safe, but my country, Somalia, is now safe. I want to go back." Yeah. But yeah. Meanwhile, Home Office figures showed Nuneaton has 19 asylum seekers per 10,000 residents, putting it 87th in the country in terms of number per capita. But yeah, so there we go. And meanwhile, there was actually the Sky News were doing an interview with a local business owner called Zahn, who's not an asylum seeker, but he was there. I'm going to try and get the video to play. We haven't done this in a long time. And there's an advert. There always is, isn't there? There's always an advert. Oh, I haven't missed this at all. Or we can skip it. But yeah, he's doing an interview on Sky News. And yeah, a woman comes up and starts racially abusing him. She's got kids and a beer. So you can tell she's a patriot. It always goes hand in hand, doesn't it? What a wonderful world. Now, look, everyone, we've all got to get on with each other. We've got to live and let love, everyone. And yeah. So anyway, if you are coming over on the boats, be careful. Be careful, because it's not safe. Right, we're going to the Canary Islands, right? And this is from Spanish news outlet OK Diario. But yeah, they were coming over on the boat as they do. Here they go. Here they go. Looks like they're having quite a nice trip to the Canary Islands, and that's an old picture taken in early January of this year, 2025. But yeah. But it says here, between 20 and 30 migrants at refugee centres in the Canaries are being investigated on suspicion of carrying out the high-sea executions on a boat after accusing their victims of stealing water and of practising witchcraft as supplies on board the boat dwindled. Yeah. Spanish police are investigating the deaths of almost 70 passengers. So it's more dangerous, actually, to come over here on the boat now, surely. Oh, that can't be right, can it? Jesus Christ. 70 people, yeah, they were possibly murdered and thrown overboard. In 2024, Spain received a record number of migrants who crossed illegally via sea, with more than 61,000 people having arrived on boat. So everyone's got it. It's happening everywhere, and you kind of makes you wonder what the hell is going on here. So yeah, but let's all calm down. Let's all be nice. Let's all be nice to each other. No? Okay. Right, I'm just trying to find another funny. Now, here's a problem. We're doing some medical news. This is to do with the birth control pill. Does it say which one is it? Is it a particular brand? No, I think it's just this is just a report coming out of Rice University in Houston. Millions of women taking hormonal contraceptives may be at higher risk of memory loss. Now think about it. If you're taking the birth pill, right? If you're taking the birth control pill, losing your memory is not a good thing, because one, you might forget to take the pill, and two, you might forget who you've had as your father with. So, you know, we'll need some Maury Povich. He is the father kind of DNA test going on. But yeah, apparently it changes a woman's hormonal balance, and it alters the way she remembers unpleasant information. Yeah, this is according to US researchers. And the scientists have labelled the findings exciting. Right. But they did warn that further research was needed to prove that there was a link. Beatrice Brandau, a cognitive neuroscience researcher at Rice University in Houston and lead author of the study, said, for women, the findings highlight what many have long suspected. Birth control can affect more than reproductive health. It does more than prevent pregnancy. It also influences brain areas involved in emotions and memory, which are central to mental health. And yeah, so that's something. Now, it's quite interesting because when women go through like the menopause or perimenopausal, their hormone levels change, and that affects their mental and memory. So it makes sense. It certainly makes sense that this could be a thing. now we're going to do the story about the police. This is, I guess, this is a pro-police story. 2 police officers were suspended after taking a selfie with a pop star. This is up in Scotland. This is Police Scotland Constables Stephen Jones and Greg Tunnock of the famous Tea Cakes. They stopped to take a picture with Scots R&B singer Talia Storm. I don't know. And, here's one of the pictures. So they took a picture with her because they thought it would be good for, like, promoting, the police force out there, community service, they thought it'd be a nice thing to do. They had intended to show the photograph to the Force's Communications Department as an example of them engaging positively with the public. Again, she's famous. Oh, police with a celebrity. Makes sense. But the footage of the brief encounter appeared on social media. The pair were summoned to a meeting, had their firearms authorisations revoked, and were kicked out of the unit. And because bosses were worried that PC Jones and PC Tunnock's actions could be perceived as sexist by having a picture taken with a female celebrity. What? But they took this to a tribunal, right? They took this to a tribunal. And they both claim they suffered mental health issues. Of course, mental health, beware of the mental health. And they have now successfully sued Police Scotland for sex discrimination. And they were awarded a combined value of £50,000 in compensation at the Edinburgh Employment Tribunal. PC Jones got $24,800 and PC Tunnock got $23,824. The tribunal heard how now retired Assistant Chief Constable Gary Ritchie had wanted to make an example of them to show he was taking active steps to stamp out sexism. Now, I could have imagined the problem if they'd have had their photo taken with her when she was dressed like this, because I guess that's how she, performs. I'm not familiar with her work, but she's wearing a bleeding overcoat. Look, seriously, I feel like Spinal Tap, What's wrong with being sexy? But yeah, Judge ruled he'd made a knee-jerk reaction. No, he'd made a jerk reaction. And so they got a payout because their boss was an ideologue. That's the problem. If you take your ideology to work with you, you make stupid decisions and you end up costing everybody money. Oh yeah. I don't think we have any animal stories anymore. I think all the animal stories have gone. Oh, we found a property. Hey, I might actually put a bid in for this. I found our new place, missus. It's compact and bijou. You're probably thinking, Darren, that's just a concrete block. Oh no, it isn't. Look what it is. It is a bunker. Yes, it's up for £20,000. And look at that. It's a Royal Observer Corps bunker. I quite like it. I quite like the look of it. If I bought that, I could set up as a recording studio. No one would hear me. It'd be great. And there you go. But oops, that's an underrated story. And I've just pressed the wrong button, so I'm out of practice. But there you go. Let's have a whip round. Let's have a whip round, right? Just send money to the usual address. We buy it. And I do all my YouTube from a Royal Observer Corps bunker. These were built during the Cold War, and there were a total of 1,536 monitoring posts throughout the UK. And this one is situated near, where is it? It's near the River Severn, in the Hallen hillside. So there you go, and it's still got its authentic ROC furniture and features, and they're using that as a selling feature. So there you go. I mean, I've seen these before advertised, and that's probably one of the better. That's probably one of the better examples, because often they're kind of flooded and a bit disgusting inside, but it looks actually quite okay. I tell you, whoever's doing the old Daily Mail website anymore, no more animal stories. That's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame. Have we done enough? Oh, I've done 30 minutes. We could end it there. I'm just trying to see if there is an animal story. There is, but I can't cover it because it's one of those bullfighting stories, and you can't do bullfighting, even though there are loads of bullfighting videos on YouTube. If I mention it, I get a community order and for covering it when the bullfighter loses. So that makes YouTube pro bullfighter. Okay, we'll end it there because there aren't any animal stories. Let's see if there's anybody in the chat. Probably not, because I've caught everyone with their pants down and nobody's here. See? It is in. Afternoon, Darren. Coffee time is back. You make my day. Well, kids are going back to school tomorrow, so I thought I'd warm up a bit. Zeb says, did you listen to those rough mixes of Landau as well? They sound amazing. Sadly not coming box set. No. Lazy fan, rough mixes 74. No, not really. I've probably listened to them years ago. If they were probably sourced on the on the Genesis, is it archive or museum? There was a load of rough mixes on there about 20 years ago. I probably listened to, so they're probably sourced from that. So yeah. Anyway, that was Coffee Time, where we look at the news. 6 viewers, 4 likes. I like those odds. Remember, folks. That was the news, whether you like it or not. I can't even remember what the old phraseology was. That wasn't the news you want. That was the news you needed. Coffee time, in your face, something like that. And we'll do this all again soon. This will get 0 viewers because the channel is in terrible decline because I don't do anything. Bye. But if you like this video and want to see more, do things. And if I feel like it, and if there are good stories, I'll be back again soon. Ta-ta.